AskReddit by fund permission 6320. Which college degrees will automation render worthless? Nothing is worthless if you gain transferable skills. Some things are just more immediately obvious in the way that those skills transfer. Exactly. What college teaches is how to solve new problems using critical thinking. If it were just, here's a problem. Here's how to solve that problem. If you ever see this problem again, you know how to solve it, then you would replace it easily. If I only used what I learned in school, I would be writing Pascal code and trying to solve analog control problems. The world went digital pretty quickly. Expensive and difficult analog controls were replaced by cheap, reliable digital computers. But I had no problems changing course. My personal favorite example of skills transfer, I modeled packages on different speed conveyor belts using Bernoulli equations for compressible fluid flow. I'll give my hot take, college degrees are about proving you're capable of sticking to something and knowledgeable in a field. Lots of careers are going to be destroyed by automation, but most of these are not specific to a college degree, like manufacturing. Your college degree remains more powerful than someone without one on the grounds you did 4 years studying something and likely have a range of personal academic experiences that college provides. I agree with this take. I worked with a construction site supervisor who had a degree in English Litters. College teaches a ton of soft life skills. How to network, how to manage stress, how to multitask a complex workload, how to teach yourself new things. A degree demonstrates tenacity and maturity. These are skills you develop no matter what courses you're taking. Automation may impact certain routine-based degrees, but adaptability and interdisciplinary skills will remain crucial for future success across various fields. This strikes me as an underestimate of the long-term potential of AI. I studied philosophy, and you can't do something useless if it already is. No one makes as much fun of philosophy majors as philosophy majors. Honestly, I have found that the things I learned while getting my philosophy degree to be some of the most universally applicable skills in the real world. Here's a website with automation probabilities for various jobs. https://willrobots.chemijob.com/rankings/highest-risk-jobs right square bracket open bracket https://willrobots.chemijob.com rankings highest risk jobs. That doesn't mean every job that is at high risk is actually going to get automated, but a high ranking job is easier to automate. There's various of these exposure scores available in the literature. I appreciate that they make this approach publicly available, but I would warn that there is a great level of subjectivity in the Free and Osborne approach of labeling. More up-to-date methods use patenting and scientific publications to match actual technological development to occupational task. A good example of this is a 2020 paper by IPDF and AMP. VED equals 2R UKUE1 VRH NGWAX WWHF0 HXPAC OQF NOIC BUCAC and AMP. USG equals AOV 3 FME2 SCOC 1 LK2R SysMD. I think it's important to take all of these measures as a guide rather than a prediction, as there's no way we can say exactly how a job will be automated or whether it will be, or how occupational task structures will adjust. It's not the degrees, it's the jobs. A job that can be automated is one that doesn't require a lot of decision making or original thought. Look at how accountants were impacted by VC Calc. It didn't make an accounting degree worthless, it just meant needing a lot fewer of them. Jobs that don't require any degree are the ones to worry about most. Someone will always need to oil the robots. I'll just make a robot that oils the robots. Then another robot to oil the robot that oils the robot. Then another robot too. I know a bunch of people that went to the military for coding that never actually learned it, and they are just using ChatGPT to do all their work. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting over here with an IT bachelor's and I can't get a job and I code for fun. It's not a degree per se but EMTP. I don't see how robots will ever take over emergency first aid. A sufficiently dexterous robot with the right type of AI programming, neither of which exist yet, but likely will in the future, could do this. Eventually all of them. The first ones to get taken out with the new wave of automation are intellectual rather than physical. Of course people will say, machines can't do X, only a human can do X. Which is something people have been saying ever since the first machine proved that machines can do X. It's a coping mechanism to deny what's happening until they've lost their job to a machine that they thought could never do their job. People who go to college to then do simply office stuff, like bookkeeping and shit. Automation will take over more and more in repetitive office tasks. So if you are someone where 90% of your work consists of those tasks, you are in the danger zone. Those people will still be needed. Just maybe not as many. They've already gotten rid of a lot of those people though. You used to have an army of secretaries who would type memos and arrange travel and set up meetings and things like that. Now everybody types their own stuff and other admin tasks have been replaced by software. Can't make a liberal arts degree more useless. Checkmate Skynet. Rather than thinking about college degrees that will be rendered worthless, consider a college degree that's been much maligned but likely to make a return due to AI. Philosophy. The original college degree gets a lot of flack for not being commercially viable. But philosophy is at the end of the day is about being human and engaging with the systems humans build. I think philosophy will return to prominence going forward and not just because of AI. I agree AI might have the unexpected result of bringing colleges back to their roots of intellectual pursuits instead of glorified job certification factories. Fields like sociology, philosophy, psychology, and political science require that human element to observe and engage with human systems. A robot doesn't have to pay taxes, or grapple with emotional turmoil from their parents, or move towns because of social isolation stemming from their lack of religiosity. The more mundane your job is, the more likely it will become automated. The smaller the amount of tasks that you do at your workplace under your position, the more likely that position will become automated. That is data entry. The more physical your activity and the fuller the range of motion, the less likely your position will be automated. Also, the higher the education level for the simpler task, the more likely your position is to be automated. For example, a paralegal. Another thing to note, currently no AI model has the ability to work independently, so I believe that most businesses will do less replacement and more of an expectation of increased productivity. None. There may be fewer positions but they will not be worthless. Automation mostly takes the less talented positions. For now. A lot of jobs that people with college degrees have will go away, but those people will still be able to get jobs. Academic credentials aren't like machines, they don't really become obsolete. Even if you studied something totally worthless, there are still jobs that just require people who can communicate, conduct research, and compile their findings. Lots of people with BAs don't wind up getting jobs that directly correlate with their degree. We don't know how far AI and robotics will advance in future decades, but it's not unreasonable to suggest that they will replace a lot of human labor if when it becomes profitable to do so. Eventually, in a long enough time? All of them. Eventually, once you include physical robotics, you can even have automation building and fixing the automation. I don't think there are jobs that exist that couldn't potentially one day be done by some sort of automation. Hopefully this will lead to a post-scarcity society, but who knows? It's scary to think about how many jobs in the healthcare industry could become automated. None, because automation is a tool. That's like saying a hammer renders carpentry obsolete. No, it's not. If the hammer can hammer itself without help, it could render carpentry obsolete, and that's more what AI is. It's a hammer that does not need a human to work. I don't think you fundamentally understand AI. Even hotter take than the hot takes I'm seeing so far. A degree wouldn't be worth or worthless if universities wasn't an inherently ultra-capitalist, unbelievably expensive money grab scheme in countries with non-socialized higher education. Automation wouldn't be an issue of replacing labor for easy profit either, but would rather be accompanying existing labor for better working conditions. I agree with your sentiment exactly, but wouldn't call it a hot take as this idea has been around for a long time, at least in my circles. The most important thing I learned at university was how to do research. That's not going to change. I suspect that when you can say, "Hey computer, can you read 400 journal entries that mention nitrogenase MOFE proteins, as well as any pertinent internet discussion of those papers, and give me a summary," it will be somewhat different. Accounting, graphics design, most low-level creative jobs. Pretty much all of them eventually. It's the HS diploma holders and GED recipients who will need to worry most about automation, and that's 2/3 of American adults over 25.